This is a Rogue Media Network podcast.
Oh yeah, that looks good. Like that.
Sounds like good banter.
Sam came up to me the other day, Josh, and he was like, "Oh, I have some things we could talk about." I was like, "Just come,
Just come.
just show up, please.
Just show up,
okay,
dude.
this is not rehearsal, all right."
Hey everyone, you're listening to The Public Affair with me, Andrew G. I see someone different every episode, but do me a favor, keep it between us.
Hey guys, what's going on? It's me, Andrew G, and welcome to another exciting episode of The Public Affair. You guys, I'm so sorry I had to take a week off. Oops, my bad, all right? Can a bitch have off? Can I have off, please? Yes, I can have off. It's like a job. You know, sometimes you request off, but I don't have a boss, so I'll take off whenever I want to, okay? No, you guys, thank you so much again for all the love and support. I truly appreciate it. I'm so happy to be rolling back in with some new episodes for the new year. Now, before we continue, I definitely want to thank Josh and Rogue Media Network for producing this episode of The Public Affair. Thank you guys so much. I truly appreciate it. And of course, to all of you and all the love that you guys continue to show the show all these years, it truly means the world to me. Every time I see you guys out in public and you act like you saw Oprah or Ricky Martin or something, yeah, it feels like the first time every single time. So thank you guys so much. I truly appreciate it. Now, before we continue with my very special guest, who looks like he needs a drink himself, I'm gonna just give a shout out to just a few of our sponsors of this episode of The Public Affair. This episode is brought to us by my boy David Santabanez with Alinea Real Estate. He's the #1 sales agent in his office still after all these years. That's why he's gonna help you buy a home or sell your property. If you don't know how to buy a house, you don't know how to do any of that mess, just call my boy David Santabanez, okay? He's gonna give you in the house that you and your family have been looking for, that's going to be catered directly to you, and he's going to make sure that you're involved in every step of the process. Habla español también to my boy David Santabanez. Thank you so much for sponsoring this episode of The Public Affair. I know my guest knows who this person is because she's a queen all through and through. Anika Armstrong of Armstrong's Bayou Cafe, a longtime sponsor of The Public Affair, serving the most authentic Cajun cuisine with a wide selection of signature crab cakes, pasta, seafood, and more that pair wonderful with Sam's margaritas. Absolutely love going on there on a Sunday, getting me my fried shrimp, and then I get a little margarita on the side. And you know, Anika just knows how to hook it up. If you guys need some authentic Cajun food, you got to go check them out, Union Grove and Union Hall. Anika, thank you so much for sponsoring this episode of The Public Affair. Of course, the Manny Guerrero at Blue Star RV Services, a mobile RV tech who can fix all RVs, travel trailers, fifth wheels, toy haulers, and so much more. Listen, if you guys are under warranty and you need to save some money, call my boy Manny Guerrero. He's going to go out there with his team. They're going to fix everything. They're going to make sure the food truck as well is running and operable because we want our french fries and our burgers. That's right. Blue Star RV Services, thank you so much for sponsoring this episode of The Public Affair. Of course, the Jesse and Tanya Sotomayor with Lucas Pizzeria. Oh, I love this. Listen, they are the best thing to come out of 3125 Bell Mead Drive. I'm talking about homemade burgers, New York style pizza, hot dogs, pastas, you name it, they got it. It is a perfect environment for when you bring the family and nobody knows what they want. Everybody can get something a little bit different. And Lucas Pizzeria is up next. Jesse and Tanya, thank you guys so much for sponsoring this episode of The Public Affair. And before we continue with this episode, I definitely have to give a huge thanks to my boy Jeff Davis, the Texas car plug at University Mazda Kia. Hit him up for the best deal on a brand new or pre-owned vehicle as well. Listen, if your credit's just not giving, or you have bad credit, you have no credit, or if you have really good credit, whatever the credit looks like, just go up there. Jeff is going to make sure that you're rolling off the lot, smiling from ear to ear, and that you have exactly what you are looking for. New, pre-owned, the selection is limitless. Jeff Davis, thank you so much for sponsoring this episode of The Public Affair. And guys, listen, super excited to have this next guest onto the show because actually he doesn't know. You may know, I don't know, but he was referred to me probably like 3 years ago. Probably like 3 years ago. One of my friends was like, you should go to Sam's bar and invite Sam on the show. And I had no idea who Sam was. Then I started going to Union Grove because shout out to Armstrong's Bayou Cafe. And of course, shout out to my boy, Brandon Moreno, who's actually a bartender at Sam's bar, hooking up with the mimosas. And then I met Sam and I was like, oh yeah, I didn't want to tell him until he came on camera that he was actually referred to me 3 years ago. But my very special guest, who is the owner of Sam's Bar, he runs Village Pizzeria and Wacool Tacos and Tamales as well. Sam Castillo is on The Public Affair. How
Hola.
are you doing?
How we doing?
I'm doing so good. Thank you so much for being here. I know it's been a rough couple days in trying to get you scheduled in.
Yeah, you know, the flu season takes all your employees.
Flu season's not giving, exactly. I don't know why you didn't stop.
It's been brutal this year.
Listen, and you know your bar is around the corner. You should have got the whiskey or something. You should have brought a bottle with you.
It, man.
You look like you need several drinks.
I have yeah, it's been a rough week, but we're hanging in there.
We're hanging in there. And you know what? You stopped by the show right before you have to go take care of another thing out of town. So thank you for penciling me in.
You're totally welcome.
I'm so excited. You know,
this is fun. I'm excited.
It's going to be a good time. It is. And you know, my friend Israel Carbajal was actually the the one who told me you should get Sam. Yeah. He was like, do you know him? I think he didn't even send me the Facebook or nothing. That's the problem, right? And then it's
like Castillo. You're thinking,
I was looking for a white boy shows I was looking for a Mexican. I was absolutely looking for a Mexican. I was, because Castillo
25% Hispanic.
Oh, hello. Okay, there you go.
I claim that proudly.
Do you really? Okay,
very proudly. Yes.
Good for you. Hence, Wacool tacos. That's why they're so phenomenal.
No,
by the way,
you,
so big shout out to you. And I definitely want to get into the business aspect of things. I want to get to know about your personal perception of things and stuff like that. But Sam, for everybody watching, can you just introduce yourself to us and just tell us a little bit about who you are and growing
sure.
up?
And is this camera that I'm looking at?
So you're talking to this camera.
Oh, hi.
That's my camera, dog.
I was like picking my nose earlier.
Okay. We have 3 cameras here, and then that's our wide shot.
All right, cool. My name's Sam Castillo, the third. I grew up in the restaurant business. Let's take it all the way back. My great grandfather opened our first restaurant in Waco in the mid 1920s.
Okay.
He came across the border selling eared corn and tamales, elote and tamales.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And
what's in that cup, Sam?
Yeah. Right.
What's in that cup? He didn't bring me none.
I know. Come on, you got a little relaxation potion. Actually, it's just alkaline water.
Yeah. Okay. Hello.
Sorry to spoil the fun. Anyways, he came across the border. Selling eared corn and tamales.
Okay.
And he was a busboy at this restaurant called the Texas Cafe.
Okay.
And that went under, the Texas Cafe, and then he had saved up enough money from pushing his cart to buy the Texas Cafe. He renamed it the Aztec Cafe.
Okay.
And started selling Tex-Mex in like the late 1920s, which was a combination of his grandmother's recipes from Mexico.
Yeah.
And just Texas those recipes a bit. Chili con carne and all that stuff.
Okay, got you.
So we've been in the restaurant business a long time. My dad owns La Fiesta, which my grandfather started that in the 60s.
Shout out to La Fiesta.
Hey.
I love the purple margaritas.
Oh, yeah, those are
just
are
the purple margaritas.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Those
How about this? I like eating at your restaurant, but I love the purple margaritas.
Yeah. Well, we actually sell them at Sam's Bar also.
You do? I saw that the other day, but you can't be mixing margaritas with mimosas.
No.
You can't mix anything
One
with
or the
mimosas.
other.
Have one or the other. Otherwise, you probably would have canceled on me. You said I'm not coming on your
100%.
ratchet show. Yeah.
You don't want to start that kind of morning anyway. But mimosas, it's perfect because it's my just favorite. It's just a little.
It's such a like sophisticated drink. It's my favorite thing. But anyway, I didn't mean to interrupt. Okay, so family owns La Fiesta.
Yep. And so I grew up in the business. Okay. I went to school at Texas Tech.
Yeah.
Or then worked in Dallas for a few years.
Sure.
And then got a loan from a banker here in town, David Littlewood over at TFNB.
Shout out to David.
And so we've been doing it a while now. And
so restaurant has been your whole life.
Pretty much. Well, I worked in corporate America in Dallas after college for 3 or 4 years in Dallas.
Sure. Why the change?
I've always wanted to, follow in the family's footsteps. And
is that right?
For some reason, I thought the restaurants would be a great idea. I didn't, at the time, probably realize how much work it was.
I was going to say, how's it going now?
And, food costs is through the roof.
Isn't it crazy?
You can't find employees. It's just it's hard for everybody.
It's
though.
One thing after another.
It's not just the restaurant business. Don't get me wrong, but it's fun too. And I mean, it's done well for us for a long time. So I can't complain.
Are eggs are expensive for you as they are for us right now?
Oh, more, yeah.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Yeah.
These tariffs just happened, but then they just got taken back on a 30-day pause. We were really bracing for that. We didn't know exactly what to expect. That was going to hit hard, because avocados and tequila.
Yeah.
And then really a bunch of meats, and then from Canada also.
Yeah.
They provide quite a few things, but
like Canadian.
he was just using it to me as we're not going to get into politics on this show. I mean, he was using it as a negotiation tactic, it seems like, and it seems like it worked.
Sure.
The tariffs got lifted. Says only for 30 days. We'll see.
Okay.
But yeah, any climate change like that, especially in the restaurant business, is really suffer. People don't have enough discretionary income as it is.
Okay.
And
so do you, at that point, do you have to raise prices? And does that scare you as a business owner?
We operate on razor thin margins in the restaurant business. Okay. I mean, it's like we're taking a tiny bit off the top. Like,
right.
We're not out here in the restaurant business. Some months we do well, some months It's
It's
you know
just-
you're
yeah.
we're operating on razor thin margins in this business, so you have to we would definitely have to raise prices.
Would you change anything though so far? Or
Probably maybe take guacamole off some of the items on the menu. So because people
guac is expensive though.
People are we don't have to now because they
Yeah.
didn't raise the tariffs by 25%. But people, if you could get away with not putting a scoop of guacamole on one of the tacos, that could allow you to sell that taco for not an astronomical amount of money, and people, really hits their pocketbook. So I'm sure, other household families will have to adjust as well.
Sure.
Maybe they won't be buying as many avocados. Essentially.
So wait, what's easier to run, Sam's Bar, Village Pizzeria, or Wacool Tacos?
Definitely the bar side.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Okay.
The food side's the difficult part because
you look like you were on the struggle bus at the pizza the other day.
What's harder?
What's harder? Yeah.
The food side's definitely harder.
The food. Yeah, I was gonna say because when I went and got the pizza the other day with you, and when I told you to come on the show, you look like you were on the struggle bus that day. I felt bad for you. I wanted to get you a glass of wine.
I was probably done with the employee that didn't call. They called in.
They called in. Okay.
The flu season. Like,
yeah.
We're the number 3, and I was reading the thing on. Was it Walgreens posted a study that said we were number 3 city in the country that
has the flu.
That has the most flu cases per capita.
Oh, God, goodness gracious.
Yeah.
It's scary. Thank goodness I didn't get the flu yet. All right.
Yeah. I'm a little stuffy, but I think it's just allergies.
No, it's okay. Yeah. No, my immune system, the doctor tells me my immune system is phenomenal.
Well,
and I think that is contributed by not using illicit drugs and only having mimosas once a month.
That's good, yeah.
Yes, so there you go.
Yeah.
And exercise. But anyway, listen, so, it sounds like the family dynamic really catered and played a role into your entrepreneurship role. Your mic is fine. And so, why follow suit in the restaurant business? I mean, you mentioned earlier that you were working for corporate America. It wasn't really your gig or anything like that. But was there anything else that you wanted to do before this all?
I've kind of always wanted to. And in the back of my mind, I've always thought that carrying on, like I said, our family started doing this in the early 20s.
Yeah.
And I think it's neat to have that history.
Sure.
Not a lot of businesses last through generations, especially not the restaurant business.
Right.
It's very... so I take a lot of pride in that, yeah.
And that's really good. I never wanted to be like my dad. I mean, no shade to him. Right? But, I'm sure
we take the good and the bad from our parents.
But he didn't know that he was raising a superstar all these years.
That's right.
So,
Come on, look at you. Shining like a light, baby.
He didn't know that. Now all his little coworkers at work, they watch me and stuff too. It's so cute. Shout out to them. But listen,
shout out coworkers.
So you took on the business, okay? And you have so many that you're running at a time. I mean, thankfully, right? They're all pretty much within the same vicinity of each other at Union Grove and Union Hall.
Yes.
Okay. So that's got to be tough. Okay. So what can you tell us about how tough it is and how do you manage to run all 3 businesses at the same time?
Well, I have a lot of help. My sister, Lindsay Castillo, she's my business partner, and we kind of divide and conquer on things like that.
Okay.
And also, it's great to have someone to bounce stuff off of when you're not really sure.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of decisions you have to make that you're like, am I making the right decision?
Yeah.
And so it's really nice to have that also. I couldn't do it by myself.
Mm-hmm.
It would be extremely difficult anyways.
Sure.
And you need help like that. So yes, we make a good team and we have really great staff. I've been very blessed. I know I just said that it's hard to keep staff and we're constantly losing people but we do have our core that's been
like your your main people, your mains is what you call them.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So without them it wouldn't be possible.
Yeah. I have a question too, right? So, Union Grove and Union Hall, a lot of people look to those places to, open their establishments and stuff like that. Why open up in a place like that versus getting your own storefront?
Cost of entry is lower.
Okay.
It's not as much of a commitment. Say if you happen to, it's a lot of places that open there. I've never had a brick and mortar or their own brick and mortar.
Yeah.
And so it's a good place to test out something new.
Yeah.
But also it's, you don't have to run a normal restaurant where you have to hire all these servers and you have to have all these bussers and you have
fighting
to
for tips.
Yeah, again, it's hard to get people to show up, right? So you can run that business with a lot less employees as well. You only have to have, a cook and a cashier, or some places even have those kiosks that are the digital.
Oh yeah.
So you don't even really have to have
McDonald's
a
is doing that now, by the way.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they are.
And it's probably because it's really hard to find cashiers. It's really hard to find, employees. Hopefully one day we don't get to where we're all, robots are cooking all our food. But,
okay, and we're ordering our drinks on the kiosk.
Totally happening in about 20 years. I don't know. That's around the corner.
I think I saw that in Dallas though. I think I saw a little robot.
10 maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
okay.
I saw Paparillo's had one that
Did they really?
It was one of those servers robots.
Okay.
Where it has like 3 different shelves and it like talks to you and it brings you your food. And
that's crazy.
that's pretty cool. I saw one at a food show in Chicago a few years ago.
Okay.
And I was like, yeah, we should get one of those.
Sure. Sam, you mentioned several times during the recording of the show that it is so hard to find people and you have a hard time keeping people.
Right.
What is your perception as the business owner as to why it's so hard to keep people?
Ooh, good question.
Yeah.
I would say
You get it on the public affair.
There's well, I think especially in the restaurant business, not all of your restaurant business employees, but a good amount of them. It's just a business where you get your check each week, and you're guaranteed quick money, and a lot of people aren't looking at it as like a long-term thing, and it's kind of what they do in between. Now, that's not to say for all our employees, because a lot of them have built up a awesome regular base and they make like really good money.
Shout out to my boy Brandon, by the way.
Yeah, he's one of them for sure. And we have a lot of those at La Fiesta. We have a lot of those at both food halls, but that have been there for a while and that they've, really built their customer base up. And
right.
But a lot of people don't. For the ones that don't have that skill set, which is not as many as you would think. There's not that many outgoing people out there that know how to,
engage and build relationships.
And they're just kind of there to, get a check and then keep going. And what's the next thing?
Yeah.
So it's not. That's probably the main reason.
Do you think that some business owners, I want to keep it super blunt. Do you think that some business owners or bar owners, for that matter, take for granted what you just said? Like hiring a bartender that has a really good reputation and bringing in a lot of customers, because at the end of the day, it kind of benefits you, right?
Yeah, I mean that's what the whole bar business is about.
Sure.
I mean you can go get a drink anywhere.
Yeah.
Now maybe the food's maybe a little different because, but drinks are most people that go to the bars, they're like, hey, I like my vodka tonic or whatever.
Sure.
And they can go get that from anywhere. So they're going because of the person.
Absolutely.
90% of the time. Now we do have some, awesome fresh squeezed margaritas and purple margaritas. They're really good.
Yes.
But I think at the end of the day, it's more about the people than anything.
He told me, okay, I wanted to ask you that too. Thank you for saying that, because I wanted to know, there's the bartenders.
When you do one, get him on the bring some of the people up here and get him on the show.
Well, I've been trying to get Brandon on the show for about a good 4 years. I think I'm this close.
Brandon, what are you doing?
Brandon, I think I'm this close. And we're gonna wait for him. Okay.
After me, then.
Yes, for sure. I told him if you didn't bring him that he was fired. Okay, so no. You know what? I wanted to ask you though, and just for the record too, I hate eating bar food at bars. Now, don't get me wrong. What I like about Sam's is that I can go to my girl Nika, get some shrimps real quick, come back and get my drinks.
Definitely.
But when I go to a bar, I'm not trying to get wings at the bar. No. That's weird for me. But anyway,
you want something a little more.
I'm focused on the drinks.
Yeah.
You make my drinks. What do you think actually makes the atmosphere and want somebody to come back to a bar? Because I'll tell you what, at Sam's Bar, the reason why I love going to the one at Union Grove, besides the fact that my girl works there, Brandon is a big part of the reason why I love going there. I just love interacting with him when he's my bartender. I just know I'm going to have a good time. My drinks are always really good. Yep. I feel like it's such a comfortable environment. Do you know what I mean? But do you think that the bartender plays more of the role, or do you think it's actually the quality of the drink that plays more of the role?
Bartender.
Okay.
Yeah. It's...
You
go where you're, it's the where everybody knows your name.
I got you.
And you're always glad you came.
I didn't know you were singing.
Hey, the guy that owns that bar's name's Sam too.
Is that right? Okay, I don't know that bar. I'm sorry.
The show. What's the TV show? Cheers.
Cheers. Okay. You know what, Sam? You should know that you're probably one of the only bars that I go to.
Oh, well,
I hate going to bars. I hate the nightlife. I want to go get super slutty drunk at 10 in the morning with mimosas.
Let's go.
And I know my boy Brandon's going to hook it up, and then it's so great. And then I can either have pizza or shrimp. Or I can have both.
Or you can have, there's a bunch of other cool places.
There's a bunch of other great places. And shout out to Chef Ito's Kitchen.
We got really good curry places. Curry Up and Walk This Way is really good.
Curry Up and Walk This Way is really
good.
They're
awesome. They've been...
They have the wing place too.
Yeah, the wings are great.
Yeah, which the guy that works at the one at this one in Waco, he's hot, but he doesn't work at the one in Woodway. So shout out to him. He knows me and I don't know him. I'm so sorry about that. But listen,
shout out.
Shout out to Sam. I want to get more into the business. Okay, I wanted to get more into your perceptive about things, but we're gonna take a quick break. And when we get back, guys, we're gonna have more of my very special guest, Sam Castillo, here on the Public Affairs. So make sure you guys stay tuned. We'll be right back. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this exciting episode of The Public Affair. My very special guest, Sam Castillo, is here, and we're going to get more into it. Now, before we continue, I definitely want to use this opportunity to give a shout out to just a few more of our sponsors of this episode of The Public Affair. Of course, to my very good friends, Julian and Anabanda with Bandas Hauling Service. They rent dump trailers, you fill it up, they haul it away. They also do junk removals and tree bush removals, and they haul cars in and out of town. If the car breaks down and you need a tow truck, call my boy Bandas Hauling Service. He's going to be out there. And if you guys are having one of those big, giant, like Mexican parties or something, they offer roll-off dumpster services as well. Or if you're doing some spring cleaning, you know, they're the best for that. He's super reliable, can be depended on for absolutely anything. Bandas Hauling Services the go. Julian Anabanda, thank you guys so much for sponsoring this episode of The Public Affair. Of course, to Soko Soccer Sports Center, or Soko Sports Center, Soko Soccer Academy. They just, congratulations on their new building. I'm so excited for them. They're going to have an opening very, very, very soon, but they're offering team, small group, and individual skills training. They also have elite skills training to make your kids superb star athletes. And Soko Child Care Center is one of the best daycare centers in Central Texas. So Soko Soccer is basically that really ideal place for your kids to stay active and motivated and just productive. And I'm so proud of Dominic and Ariana Gutierrez for everything. Shout out to you guys. Thank you so much for all your support of The Public Affair. And of course, to the Soko Soccer teams, Coach Morrow, Coach Megan, Coach Jeff. Thank you guys for allowing me to sponsor your kids. Those kids are phenomenal, and they are truly being guided by some of the best coaches, the best coaches in Central Texas. Soko Soccer Academy, thank you so much for sponsoring this episode of The Public Affair. And of course, to my girl, Myra Rosadas with Strike a Pose Photography, a digital photo booth business perfect for parties, private events, corporate events, and so much more. It's fun, it's convenient, it's easy. She's also offering digital customized invitations, movement forms, and personal photo shoots because she just got a new photo studio. My girl, Myra Rosadas, is on the come up. I'm so proud of her. Strike a Pose Photography. Thank you so much for sponsoring this episode of The Public Affair. All right, guys, we're back. My very special guest, Sam Castillo, is here. He got the headphones on this time.
Got them on.
Is that because you wanted to feel closer to me?
How did you know?
I know. You wanted me to like be whispering in your ear, right? Like
yeah, exactly.
Like that one person was doing to me last night.
I might take them off still. We'll see. It sounds weird hearing myself talk.
It's different. I have to record with headphones. No, I've only done one episode of the show where I did not wear headphones, and that was with Ann Harder, and that's because she didn't wear them. And you know Ann Harder, when she does something, you just do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm on board.
She's Jesus. So you follow suit. And then she sat on my chair, and I was like, all right, perfect. So here we go. You know, at the bars and everything, things can be a little gamey sometimes, right? Everybody don't know how to act. Can you talk to me about some experiences that you had, like with bar brawls and stuff like that, and people just acting out of character? Because it's got to be just as stressful for you as the bar owner, because then it gives a bad rep to your business, right?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. You have to pay real close attention on cutting people off, and there's an art to it.
Oh, really? Tell us.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Art of distraction mainly, and it's nicer if you just have to show them a lot of respect while you're doing it.
Okay.
Essentially. Just overload of respect and talking, very quietly, and don't yell at them, don't make them seem. But they're inevitably usually get mad. But you just have to stay on top of that. But we've had, instances where people come in and they're probably already just maybe a few
kind of lit
things in their system.
Yes.
Maybe some drugs in their system.
Oh, outside of alcohol is what we're talking about.
Yeah. And then they come in, they get a drink, and it's like that just sends them over the edge, and you have to immediately set them off. No, we've had some wild stories. Heck, at La Fiesta, I remember one time.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the day, there was this. It's actually a pretty funny story. But, there's that Sandman Motel across the street.
Oh yeah.
That it's kind of like an eyesore. Really.
I'm scared to confess that I slept with somebody there once, a long time ago, pre Public Affair, pre radio. I didn't know any better.
Back in your wild days.
Back in the wild, yeah.
But there was a guy coming across the street, running across the street.
Yeah.
And he was butt naked.
Oh, okay.
Big old boy. He looked like maybe he was a trucker or something.
Sure.
And I remember this was like, this had to be maybe back when I was in high school, I think.
Yeah, most definitely.
When I was working there, like waiting tables. But he was just like slapping himself, and he was like, "Get these snakes off of me," or whatever, and sprint across the parking lot. And he's coming to try to get in the front door of La Fiesta.
Okay.
And then I see him coming, and I have everybody holding on to the doors and all that. Man, we call the cops. The cops show up. And they have him. This is the funny part. They have him handcuffed.
Yeah.
And one of them's got a towel, following him to the car so that shielding him from public eyes. And I guess someone takes a picture of the guy, and they had La Fiesta in the background.
Yeah.
Our sign in the background. And I think it was 102.5 The Bear.
Yeah.
The radio station picked that sign up and put it on their Facebook page or something.
Okay.
And made a meme out of it.
Oh, wow.
And it said something to the effect of this is what happens after 2 purple margaritas or something at La Fiesta. And it was a guy handcuffed naked with the towel.
Yes.
But that guy actually never made it in the building. building.
Okay. So you didn't want to give him purple margarita?
No. He was definitely cut off before he entered the building.
And let me tell y'all something too. The purple margaritas, they do be sneaking up on you. You know, my last guest,
tequila. Tequila's like these slow bites.
But so is champagne because when I call it champagne because it's more sophisticated that way.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yes. Hello. And so
Target Target.
Yes, we had Sam's Bars mimosas on my last episode with my girl Brenda. It was her first time drinking mimosas. Yeah, we got them to go. And she never had mimosa a day in her life, and you can tell the pivotal moment when we're recording. It wasn't even half of it. Girl, it hit her. And she lost a train of what we were talking about. So she's just like, something balloon, something. What are we talking about again? Yeah, it's crazy. Has your character ever been compromised in situations like that where people are just a little bit too belligerent?
My character personally?
Yeah.
I don't. You mean like if I've gotten like too upset with them? And
sure.
Like maybe,
because you just mentioned, hey, we have to overly compliment them. We have to make sure that, we're kind of grooming them into cutting them off. But then, I'm sure there's some times where it's just a little bit testy. And you're like, I will beat your ass, bitch.
There's a time I've had to, this was again a while back.
Yeah.
But a customer got ornery and tried to swing at me.
Oh, wow.
And I had to like duck and, get real shifty. And then it
Sure.
was a much larger gentleman.
Yeah.
Again, the cops came up and he had done that a few other places. They asked if I want to press charges. So I said, okay.
Okay.
And we had to go to court over here.
Sure.
So yeah, that was one time. Yeah,
okay. Got you. Yeah. And so I hope you got a settlement out of that.
No, I didn't get anything, but
yeah.
I guess we got him to, stop doing that.
I got you.
He went to jail for a while. So
yeah, there you go. You have a kids, wife, and all that?
No, actually, never been married. Never had kids.
Single? Okay.
Single, yeah.
How many girls push their boobs up to you so they can get free drinks?
And
would it work if I do it?
It happens all the time. But no, I don't give away free drinks.
Okay, gotcha.
Give it to one, then you got to give it to a million.
That's true.
We got to, be very democratic with that.
Yeah.
And if you did it, you don't look like you got, boobs, man.
I used to have really nice boobs until I lost all my weight. Until I got fit and started taking care of myself.
So maybe if it was back then, maybe.
I would have just pushed them up for you and been like, "Hey Sam, how much for that margarita again, bitch?" I wonder what it takes. Hopefully you find you a nice woman or man or woman, and do your thing.
One day, yeah. I'm getting to that. I'm 40 now. So.
Are you really? You look like you're my age.
Well, thank you.
How old am I?
Let me guess, 32, 33?
Ooh, 33.
Ooh.
Yes, good for you, Sam.
Right on it. I don't know. I've always taken my time with that. I didn't, I guess I didn't want to not be sure. And if I ever do get married, it's going to be once, and I don't.
And that's it. Yeah.
And divorce. I've seen divorce in my life, and I know. What that does to kids and what that,
sure. It's hard.
And it's 90% of the country, marriages end in divorce after whatever the statistics are. But I definitely been don't want that statistic. And so I've been careful with not having kids out of wedlock and not, I probably should have, honestly, on accident.
All your seeds that are rolling around there. But you're like me. I've never been in a relationship. Well, and I'm not married either. Anyway, moving on. You're not like me. You're not gay. So, running the bar, putting the team together, how does something like that, how do you know you have a good team of bartenders? We all know that Brandon's goated, right? And we love him. But like what gets put into actually making a good team that you can actually trust for when you're like recording on a podcast, you have to go out of town, and that you can keep them running your bar?
It's hard to find. I've got it throughout my bars though.
Mm-hmm.
We have good people everywhere. With Leanne, Kim, got guy Zach, I've got all kinds of girls, Harley, SB, all these girls. Everybody's good. And what makes it good is synergy.
Okay.
Do they get along? Is there a cancer in the locker room? Is somebody complaining?
Sure.
It's like that in every business, but it rings so true because one bad seed or one negative person, if you're not a positive, if you don't try to find the silver linings in life, if you're not positive, it's going to cancer every locker room.
Absolutely.
So, that's the number one thing.
I think that's fair to say. Absolutely.
And are you naturally outgoing?
Oh, yeah.
So, you've hired people in the past I've hired people in the past that it's, maybe they're really smart or they're working on their PhDs at Baylor, or they're doing this, but they don't have that.
They don't have that oomph.
Yeah, or they're a little too nervous, or they don't. Just, people skills, like to have that and to be a bartender and to put yourself out there every day.
Yeah.
You can't go hide in your office cubicle. You can't go,
You have to be a people person.
You can take a restroom break for a couple of minutes, but
Right.
you have to get back out there.
Right.
And that's hard for a lot of people. And it's not easy. It's not easy to be on every day either.
Absolutely.
Like, you come in and you have to be on.
They work a lot. They work a lot too.
Yeah.
For the most part. You know, I wonder, I've interviewed some bartenders on the show, and a lot of them have a really...
It's a skill. It's a definite skill.
Oh, no. Yeah,
and
I
it's
agree.
a skill that not every person possesses. Like, most people don't, I would say.
Do you think I could be a good bartender?
I think it'd be a great bartender.
You think so?
Yeah,
Okay.
come on. You can run this podcast show. You can do it. You can do it. You've got the gumption.
I always say, unfortunately, I'm a people person. Sometimes I wish I wasn't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
It'd be easier to hide.
Yeah. You know, I wonder... Sorry. I wonder what your thought... I've interviewed bartenders on the show, and they have this really cute saying where if you're not tipping, you're not sipping, right? Now, in all fairness, a lot of bartenders, that's how they make their money, right? Is a lot of it is with tips. You would know. You agree to that. You're the bar owner. What do you think on something like that? Do you think that it's right for a bartender to refuse service to a customer if they're just not getting tips? Or do you think there's a nuance?
There's a nuance to it, and no, you can't refuse service. No, we don't do that.
Okay.
Now, it's hard to get a bartender to adhere to that, especially if it's a repeat offender. But in that business, you take the good with the bad. I mean, you have people that come in and tip really great, and then you have people that don't tip so great.
Yeah.
You kind of have to like roll with the flow. Now,
is that kind of like
if it's a rude customer that comes in and they're, out of the way rude and they've repeat offenders, yes, I'll handle that. I'll help them work through that. A lot of times they're good at doing it on their own, but if they need help from me, I'll come in and be like, hey, y'all, you don't need to come back if you can't show respect.
Sure.
So to me, it's more about that. And then to me, it's more, that's just part of the gig. You know, it's, you're going to have good tippers and you're going to have bad tippers.
Right. Which we should all
and really, in reality, most people, 90%, 95% tip pretty well.
Okay.
90% aren't the bad. There's not as many bad tippers as there are good tippers. Yeah. By far, I would say.
Okay. Well, and then I think, it's fair to say, too, we should tip our bartenders.
Definitely.
I mean, absolutely, 100%, especially when them drinks are good. Yeah. And then, if you tip your bartender really, really well, they'll take really good care of you.
That's right.
Yes. You know what I mean? That's the cheat code, okay? But, I agree with you to an extent, right? Like, I do feel like...
There's exceptions. There's exceptions.
I agree.
A few. But anyways, go ahead. What?
No. I agree with I agree to an extent. Like, I think that people in the service industry should be tipped, but I also do think that it should be based off of your, like, if you're a bad bartender, if you're a bad server, I straight up won't tip you.
Right.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, if I have to get up and refill my own drinks, if you're not being attentive to me, why should I tip you? Is that because that's, you know what I mean?
And but that's
like,
fair.
For somebody like, and I just reference him because he works for you and I see him all the time, but Brandon, I'll tip all the time. You know what I mean? Take care, he's super attentive.
And that's fair. Yeah. That's fair.
Yeah. So
I think that's the way it should be.
Have you ever felt there was a time, because you mentioned earlier in the show, or just a second ago, that, there's always a cancer in every locker room, right? And there's always going to be that one person that, they're not really
sometimes.
Sometimes.
And that's what you had asked what would make a bad locker room. And that's
right.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel like your business was compromised by somebody like that maybe that you hired and they just had this negative attitude all the time?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. And how did you handle something like that?
You just approach them and ask what what's the problem? Is it something externally? Is it us? Is it working? Can we talk it out?
Sure.
And then, obviously set expectations and tell them, hey, this is not how we operate
it's
here.
Not tea, yeah.
And you're, and usually you just let them go, but sometimes there's chance of, redemption.
Yeah.
Everybody has their. We're all dealing with problems and issues in this tough world. All of us.
I agree.
All of us have our own flavor of jacked upness. Yeah. And so, you don't want to harshly judge people immediately, and you want to try to get to the bottom of it and figure out if it's something you can help them with.
But what if you're going through something? How do you keep that strong head on your shoulders? Because you're running the whole business.
I try to not. I come in like I try to be a, sometimes they can read it on my face, but I'm not. Okay. I try not to complain, and I try to foster an environment of, when you're here, it's we have to do the job.
We have to do our job,
but no, sometimes, life will catch up with you, definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
And you just got to do your best to take the strides and keep rolling, baby.
Yeah, I got you. I wonder, what is there a pressure for you to maintain a good image? A lot of people that are entrepreneurs, business owners, for some reason, they feel like they have to, fit in a certain circle in this city, I should say. And I wonder for you, do you just are you just you, or do you feel like you have to be about face in most instances?
I guess there's a little bit of that. I don't know that I think about it though. I'm probably and maybe being in the bar business, I get more of a pass. You know, I'm not like a politician or something.
Sure.
In the restaurant business, but I am also in the restaurant business. So yeah, no, I don't want to go out and act a fool. Definitely, that's always the forefront of my mind. I actually do when in my years of going out too much and partying a little bit too much in my 20s and 30s, probably. I'm in my 40s now. I slow down, man. For sure. I go out like have a drink and then I'm at home in bed by like 10.
When I left,
bro, I'm 40. I'm done. Yeah, I can't hang anymore.
I'd be in bed by 2 p.m. Don't play with me.
Yeah,
especially after the mimosas. Forget about it.
Dude, yeah. That's a recipe for a perfect nap.
Oh my God, the sleep. What do you mean? Yeah. This past Sunday, it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
I wonder what, so a bartender, watching, or, a person who maybe has never owned a bar, right? And they have their own perception of things. Like we talked about the tipping, and we talked about, your attitude at work and your reputation and stuff like that. I wonder what is something that you feel maybe a general industry worker doesn't look at for somebody like you who is the owner. Like maybe some of the struggles that you actually deal with that you're not very vocal about.
That somebody on the street would just look and
say,
like
not even in the street, the service work, if you could do this for a day and deal with
keeping everybody happy.
Okay,
like that's it. I mean, that's like again, I went back to is the stuff trying to whether it's balancing the schedules in the right way, whether it's flipping the switches, making sure that everybody has everything's fair. Everything's got the same opportunities.
Okay.
Which it's always a bit of a balancing act.
Yeah.
And then you have people come and go, and you have seniority, and you have probably just making sure everybody's happy and just checking in on. Yeah.
That's got to be a difficult task in itself, though.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially when you're running the restaurants also, and it's not just a bar, and it's like, and again, most of my headache comes out of the food side of it.
For sure.
Definitely. Yeah. Because we have to deal with the health department at the bars also, but on the food, on the food side of things, it's a lot.
They're probably more strict.
Yeah, and it's just a lot of, if they came to your home kitchen, you wouldn't be cooking dinner.
Oh, absolutely not. Yeah, don't go to my kitchen, okay?
If they came to it's different in the public scene. I get that. I'm not hating on them at all. I understand. You have to have guidelines.
He's scared. They're like,
oh man, I'm more scared of them than the actual police.
They're going to see the show and they're going to be like, go to Sam's. Go to the pizza.
No, we won the Clean Plate Award.
Oh, hello.
Okay, so
congratulations to you.
We won the Clean Plate Award at all spots, actually.
There you go.
At some point, at Taco Pizza and La Fiesta too. We've had that once.
For sure.
A very hard thing to get though, because it'll be like a pot hand. It'll be like a pot handle that the rubber is a little bit off or something.
But do you think they're too strict sometimes? Because let's stop acting like, I can't stand when people see one roach in a restaurant and they act like they're not going there anymore.
Right.
Y'all got roaches in your house too. Stop playing. Do not play with me. You get that occasional water bug. Okay. You get that occasional
or
roach.
Like it'll look like a cricket from outside, especially at certain times in the year when you open those doors, there's crickets like everywhere.
Oh yeah. Don't play.
And it's very hard to keep them out.
Sure.
Yeah. So no, and but there's preventative measures. You just have to stay on top of them hardcore.
Absolutely.
And it's very difficult because there's so many moving parts and there's da-da-da-da. No, that, and then, you're selling a product that people put in their mouths. I mean, it's the utmost level of scrutiny in the restaurant business. And look, that business, it never sleeps. I mean, we're open every day.
Absolutely.
From morning till late at night.
Yeah.
We're only closed like 2 days a year. So when you're on vacation, even you're not, this is the rub of the restaurant business. You're on vacation and you have time off, you're still there. And you can't really take that many vacations a year because you can't, when the cat's away, the mice will play.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's a tough business like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Unless you really have people that you can really lean on.
Yeah.
Which we do sometimes, and then sometimes we don't. It just depends on what our staff looks like at that particular time. But yeah, that's probably a couple of the reasons that make the restaurant business a very tough restaurant.
Yeah, sure.
And then again, I spoke of the shrinking margins and the food costs is going through the roof, and we've got all kinds of external external variables that just change constantly.
Most definitely
coming up, like I said, with these tariffs, and
you
gotta think about everything. It's a lot. You're actually in the restaurant business. It encompasses every other business. It's banking, it's marketing, it's manufacturing, it's sales, it's HR. I think that is one of the only businesses that encompasses every other facet of business known to man. So you have to wear a bunch of different hats, basically.
You gave us a real good mouthful on that last question. Thank you so much
Yeah,
for
you're
all
welcome.
that insight. No, but you know,
Yeah.
that's a lot of things that, you know, we don't normally see that we might misunderstand about the service industry. You know what I mean? Just, you know, people like, I haven't been a server since high school, so I don't know what's going on these days. You know what I mean? So, you know, Sam, I had such a good time having you on the show. I know you got to get going. I know you got to go out of town. But, you know, I just want to give a huge shout out to Sam's Bar. I want to give a huge shout out to Village Pizzeria. I love Village Pizzeria, and I love Wacool Tacos. Is there anything that you can leave us with? Is there any future things coming up, or any shout outs or anything like that?
So we're about to start a lot of bands, live bands, downtown and on and at Grove. So we have the one over here at Union Hall and Union Grove.
Yes.
Union Grove, we have a band this Saturday. I think Michael Saldana is playing. Shout out Michael Saldana.
Okay, I think I met him the other day. I want to say he was on Zach Owen with me. I'm not sure if that's the same guy.
Maybe.
Yeah.
And then, you know,
actually,
speaking of mimosas, we're about to do a every Saturday, Sunday special with mimosas and Bloody Marys that have, you know, bacon, shrimp, like a little meal inside your Bloody Mary. And And then we do fresh squeezed mimosas with fresh squeezed orange juice.
Yes, they do. Absolutely,
and then,
they do.
We're going to be doing those on specials, actually.
Yeah.
Very soon for $10.
Lit.
On Sunday mornings and Saturday mornings.
I'm going to so be there. There is nothing I enjoy more on every occasional Sunday, especially when it's nice out like it is today.
Yeah.
Going to Sam's Bar, going to see my boy Brandon, and I know Armstrong's is right behind. You don't understand the combo of the mimosa and the Armstrongs that I get, or even the pizza.
That's good.
Sometimes I love because I love it. It's
it
just
hits. And then you load up on those carbs and you get that.
It's so
mimosa,
great. And then
you
go
go
to
home and you
sleep.
sleep and you
You
watch
go to-
football. Well, football season's almost over.
Well, I'd left Sam's on Sunday and ended up in somebody's DMs, but that's neither here nor there. But you know,
that's what they're for. That's exactly what everybody does when they have a couple too many drinks
mimosas
at
are
the restaurant.
dangerous.
And they wake up the next day, they're like, oh wait.
I know. I'm like, I feel I have to like wash the sheets. It's disgusting. But anyway, that's a different conversation. Sam, I'm so grateful that you came on the show. Thank you so much. And I truly wish nothing but the best for you and your businesses. And I know we'll be seeing more of each other.
We're gonna get Brandon on here too.
Tell Brandon.
Said you've been trying for 4 years.
Yes. Tell Brandon that you give him a raise if he comes on, please.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell him you give him more percent.
We're gonna work something out.
And I'll tell you what too. If you need some local singers, acoustic singers for your band, let me know because I'm the plug. Okay. I'm the plug.
Cool.
I have some phenomenal singers that I can give you.
Yeah. Well, we just started booking. I got this girl Jen that's been doing it for me, but I need some help downtown too. I want to.
Got you.
We have that nice patio down there.
Yeah.
So we're about to make that a little more fun and inviting.
You'll love Cody Lee Stone. That's all I'm saying.
And then we're gonna put. We need some acts to perform on the patio.
I got you. Sam, thank you again for coming on to the Public Affair. I truly appreciate it.
Of course.
Now, you guys don't forget to go check out Sam's Bar at Union Hall and Union Grove. Also, Wacool Tacos and Village Pizzeria. There are all at all locations of Union Hall and Union Grove. Phenomenal food and drinks. The atmosphere, what I love about the bar atmosphere as well, is that it's just so cool, calm, and collected. You know, I've never been over there and somebody was trying to punch me in the face. I love it so much.
Yeah,
I feel so welcome.
It's more
chill.
laid back. And it's really
chill.
wide open too. You get to
it.
watch all the open kitchens and they'll be cooking up gumbo, or they'll be cooking up wings, or they'll be on the flat top grilling up steaks, and it's
perfect.
You get to sit there and there's a lot of people watching to be done.
Yes. I got you. You guys, thank you again so much for tuning into this episode. Sam, I truly wish you nothing but the best. Thank you for coming onto the podcast. Now, before we go, I'm just going to use the opportunity to give a shout out to just a few more of our sponsors of this episode of The Public Affair. Of course, he loves when I do this, so stop. Of course, the Boyo Box and Audio with Jeffrey Monreal, home for all your LED needs and audio accessories, installation of stereos, door speakers, and audio systems. He also specializes in building custom subwoofer enclosures and so much more. Definitely a jack of all trade. I love my bass. The Abracadabra song by Lady Gaga goes really, really good with the Sundown bass audio system. I was just doing it in South Waco right now, and everybody recognized me. And the tint job. I'm not going to tell you guys how good the tint job is. You guys can go figure it out. Boyo Box and Audio. Jeffrey Monreal, thank you so much. Of course, the Sid Rodriguez at Elite Barbershop, making sure I look all spicy for every single episode of The Public Affair that I book. You can call the number on the screen, download the Squire app. Walk-ins are welcome as well. He has Marcus Guerrero, Chris Reyes, Santos Cordova, David Rodriguez, Isaac Chavez, Clint Fletcher, Isai Reyes, Sam Ceballos, and Kayla Chapa, making you look as snackish as I have for all these episodes of The Public Affair. Elite Barbershop, thank you so much for sponsoring this show. Of course, the Hummingbird Party Backdrops and the Coro Ana Limones call for all party decor, including beautiful balloon props, giving an extra third of your party or event with a number of wooden backdrops as well. She works overtime to make sure your events stand out amongst the rest. Y habla español también. To Hummingbird Party Backdrops and Decor, thank you so much. And of course, to Julio Arriaga with JC Painting and Drywall LLC. Contact for all drywall and beautiful new paint for your property, both commercial and residential. His work is phenomenal. It's honest, it's true, and he guarantees 100% satisfaction living by his slogan. Just imagine, and we can make it happen. Call today, get scheduled. Se habla español, JC Painting and Drywall LLC. Thank you so much. To all of you guys, thank you for tuning in. To Sam, thank you so much. That's my DMs going off right now because they want me to go get mimosas with them at Sam's Bar and then do whatever afterwards. But don't forget, Sam, to always keep it between us. That's it.
All right.
This has been a Rogue Media Network